before we actually restart the network interface and get bonding up, I just wanted to discuss exactly what we're doing with the files. Well, the first one we'll look at is this bonding.conf file, and what we're basically doing here is creating the bonding module as a device on the system. And in here, we're saying it's mode 5. There are 6 different modes we can actually put the bonding interface in. This one's probably the most flexible. It allows for the aggregated bandwidth of the 2 interfaces, and it has a failover option also. If one of the slaves should fail, it'll pick it up. And this basically says how many milliseconds to see if for some reason there is a failure on the interface. The other files that we've created in here, if I'll do so, if we cat if cfg bond, right, this is the main bond file, and down here we're basically putting the same information we have in the bonding.conf file. This is mode 5. This is mode 5 right here. You don't put mode 5 in here just because when the interface does start up, if it says mode 5 in here, if for some reason it has an issue, but this literally means mode 5. And then the other information you see here is pretty straightforward, we've looked at before. Then if ETH0, and remember you should have copied these over, ETH0, we basically say none here, and it's not up here. And you can say static in this one, but none here, right? So no boot protocol, on boot yes, and here's the key. The master is this file up here, bond0, and it is a slave, no IP version 6, and no user control either. And if I go up and look at 2, same information as in ETH0. So we're basically just bonding these to making these 2 slaves of the bond0 interface. And that's it. So let's go ahead and restart and see what happens. So we'll do a service, network, restart. And we see everything going down. And then it comes up. Let's see. Let's go take a look. If config. And yeah, looking good so far. We see ETH2 is a slave, ETH1 is not. It is the internet interface, so it's picking up an address dynamically. Then we have ETH0 as a slave, and then we have the master. And we can test this because I have a little client out there, so we'll just test 10.100.0.25. And sure enough, we've got it going. Excellent. Now the key is it going to survive a reboot of the system? So I'll type reboot here, and we'll let it go through the reboot process, and we'll actually see if it does survive it. I'll start the film up again once it comes back up. Okay, the system rebooted. Let's go check. We'll do an if config here. And we're still seeing our slave. Yes, yes, looking good so far, slave. And sure enough, there goes our bond as master over there. And it's interesting if you were to look at the packet statistics and actually take these 2 pieces of information and then look up here. Whoops, that's the wrong interface. It's down here. These 2 pieces of information, you would actually see, right, that if you take those, add them together, you'll end up with the same type of information in the bond0 interface. So it is working, and the last thing we'll do is just ping from here. So let's get out of here, try one more time. And we're good. So our bonding interface is working. Next we'll be looking at NAT, and we'll actually be creating a NAT server for our environment, because that's the critical part. This is going to be a full-blown network, and this server 1 is going to act as our gateway off of the virtual network. All right, see you in a few.